When I very first started, I was so afraid to be on the stage. And now I love it because I love being able to share what I know and allowing people to prosper from the wisdom that I can give them. And so I've been doing a lot more speaking gigs, doing all kinds of fun things like that.
We're all about turning a crappy situation into something positive.
$250,000 of credit card debt.
I still remember the day when no one turned up.
Throw it in the garbage and start from scratch.
I could give myself a chance, so I started something.
I mean, I think that counts as from poop to gold.
Our sponsor for this episode is our 14-day video script challenge.
Yes, we are sponsoring our own show.
Yes, we are. Hi guys, welcome back to From Poop to Gold. I'm Daniel Harmon, Chief Creative Officer at Harmon Brothers and your host. And my guest today is Rhea Allen.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me, Dan.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on. So Rhea is CEO of Peppershock Media, which is a marketing agency in Nampa, Idaho. Which is kind of cool because I'm from Idaho. It's a little further away though.
Yeah.
A little off the beaten path. Also, you are a co-founder of We Rock, which is really cool. Can you tell us what that stands for?
Women entrepreneurs recognizing opportunities for capital. So
Awesome.
mentoring startups and women who want to own their own business and grow and find ways to fund their business.
That's awesome. And is that primarily concentrated in Idaho or does it expand beyond that?
Well, the last two events have been in Utah, but we want to also do events in Idaho too.
Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. So primarily in Utah. That's cool. Also, you serve as a chair on the Idaho Shakespeare. What did you say it was?
I served on the Shakespeare Festival board and now on the Gala Committee and now on the advisory board. So Shakespeare is awesome.
Awesome. All things creative. Also, you have a Facebook group, Marketing Expedition Members group, right?
That's right.
And you speak at lots of conferences like NAB. I guess you're going out to NAB New York as well. So very cool. Very, very happy to have you on. So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you end up as a CEO of a marketing agency in Idaho?
Well, it all started back when I was in high school. We started the broadcasting group and I interned at Channel 6, which was the ABC affiliate. And I was 15 years old and just got a knack for all things media. And this is before, the digital new media came out, right? And so was really starting in news and worked my way. Television news really put me through my undergrad because you could work at night and put the news on at night, but then work during the day at school. So I did that. And then I moved over to the Fox affiliate and started Fox 12 News at 9.
Okay.
And from there, directed news and again, got through school and then actually worked with my now husband at the TV station.
Okay, because you guys met.
We met
in broadcasting.
Yep.
Together. What was his role there?
He was my technical director.
Okay.
So
cool.
I told him what buttons to push.
Okay. There you go.
And then we actually decided to move to Seattle together. And I worked on my master's degree and worked at Northwest Cable News and then the Fox affiliate up there while he went to the Art Institute of Seattle.
Okay.
And so did the master's degree and worked at news again and television put me through my schooling. But in the afternoons, I got to work in promotions and do a lot with the Mariners and Seahawks and the Sounders and all of the sports marketing side that we would do at the station.
Okay, cool.
And then at night, I'd either be editing or technical directing or directing and did that. So I kind of split my role there. And Seattle news comes on at 11. At night. So I would do that and then, do my schooling during the day.
Okay. Very cool. So that worked out. Had your own show and everything.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So I noticed that I guess what kind of spawned the decision to come back and start a marketing agency and stuff? Why the jump over from broadcast and stuff?
So in broadcasting, the one thing that you end up doing is you work Christmas and Easter and New Year's.
It never sleeps.
And so there was a stretch where I actually ended up working 52 days straight because the other director had time off and, family leave. And it was about that time that I was like, I think I just really want to do my own thing. And my degree is in mass comm and business management. And then my master's is in entrepreneurship and marketing. And so I felt like I had this entrepreneurial bug about me. And so we were going to start the business in Seattle. but did the due diligence, and we would have just been a little tiny fish in a big, big sea of agencies that have been around forever.
Right.
So Drew actually interned at some of the big name spots, and we say we got a lot of big city experience, and then we brought it back home to the Boise area.
Yeah.
But now we, even though we're near Boise, we work all over.
Yeah.
So we started, we actually got married in August of 2003, and then started the business in October 2003.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, we've always worked together. And so, yeah, it's been over 15 years, he and I. And then we added people along the way. Our art director, soon to be creative director, she's been with us for a while. And then we've just added, and we have video production, graphic design, web, content. I mean, we really are full service, and it just really kind of depends on what our clients need. That's what we do.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. It's nice to kind of like not work 52 days straight.
I know. Well, in a different way. Yeah.
Right.
It's
But
debatable.
Like there's for sure a ton of high stress and stuff around marketing and answering to clients and that kind of thing, but it's not necessarily quite like the news, right?
Yeah, totally.
So I noticed that some of the clients that you have are like near and dear to my heart. Like for example, D11's bank.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That was like my first checking account
Nice.
in Idaho.
Aw,
So
yeah.
I set that one up way back in the day. You've got like a local basketball team. What was the name of the team?
We did. It was the Idaho Stampede basketball,
Yes,
and now they actually got the Utah Jazz purchased the team, and now they're the Stars.
Okay.
So now they've
So
moved.
they became the Stars.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
they
now
became the Stars. Yeah.
They're down in Salt Lake now.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. And anyways, just kind of cool to go back and look at like some of my Idaho roots as I was going through some of your
I know.
work.
It's fun, huh?
The name of our podcast is obviously From Poop to Gold.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of what we're looking for is stories and experiences that people can relate to where you've had a really crappy situation and you've been able to turn it into something good. Do one of those come to mind for you?
There's several stories when you said, okay, think of something. And I think there was a time during the economy that, it was rocky times when the whole recession was happening. And, I feel like we were blessed because we had a government contract that kind of carried us through that.
Yeah.
But there was some things that happened with the mortgage industry at the time where we had this big national client doing, back in the day, it was CD-ROMs. Remember that?
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
CD-ROMs?
I do.
Like they were a thing,
I remember them vividly.
And we made these CD-ROMs for this national mortgage company that they had all of their documents on these CDs, and we had a video that would play when people popped it in and it would like autoplay, right? It was all cool, and we got all this, cool testimonials and all these things. Well, then that mortgage company went out of business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They folded.
And so now we had these CDs, and
did they still owe you money?
Oh, for a while. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
It took about almost 7 months before we were paid.
Oh, wow.
And I always just say, thank goodness for the government contract that we had with the Air Force Base, because you knew that you were gonna get paid.
Right.
And had we not had that, like, I feel like there was so many things that were happening right at that time. Because not only the mortgage company, there was also a commercial property real estate company that just ended up, he ended up going bankrupt and all of this stuff. He said, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic that the market's going to turn around. No, it didn't happen. And, that's the time where we actually had to go to court and like figure out and navigate the court system to like figure out how to get paid. Right. And we were, on the list of all of the debtors, and that experience, I really never want to go through that again.
Yeah, it's awful.
But we got through it. And, and to this day, he obviously tried everything he could to get us paid, and he did eventually. But I just remember every business owner has to go through like, how am I going to make payroll? Like, oh my gosh. And but it happened. So we made it. We are still here to tell about it and live that story. But certainly that time. So now, I'm cautiously optimistic when we take on, the industry that is so volatile sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen with the housing market. So I'm like, all right, Money up front.
Yeah, for sure.
But they, it's certainly, you learn your lessons along the way and making your contracts just right to make sure that they have all the verbiage that you need. And, gone are the days of just doing business on a handshake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to learn some of those lessons early on as well.
Yeah.
And upfront money is a big deal.
Yes.
So if
for
that
sure.
is one of the golden nuggets that came out of your crappy situation, then
Right?
that's great because, you don't ever want to be burned in that case, even if it's not people's intention to burn you, right?
Right. And totally. I mean, they're good people. It's just,
Yeah.
Circumstances happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's great. So, so what is it kind of like your passion right now? Now that you've got, Peppershock up and going and stuff, but you've obviously got your hands in several different things. Like what's kind of your passion project right now?
Well, I have been encouraged to continue to develop my speaking and teaching and presenting as a content expert speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy it. Like when I very first started, I was so afraid to be on the stage. And now I love it because I love being able to share what I know.
Yeah.
And allowing people to just prosper from the wisdom that I can give them.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing a lot more speaking gigs and,
Yeah.
getting flown different places and doing all kinds of fun things like that. And I love it. I love being able to share my knowledge. I really do.
So that's the new passion. It's
That is, yeah.
Let me take the learning and help other people out so they don't necessarily have to go through all the same stuff, right?
Building brands and bottom lines. That's what I do. And I, I love to ideate and create. And one of my top strengths, I did the Strengths Finder, right?
Yeah.
Well, my number one is command. I always say it's command, but not demand. but then it's
That's
woo.
a good distinction, though.
So I can woo you into doing what I want you to do.
Yeah.
But ideation is really up there too.
Yeah,
And I love coming up with all kinds of crazy ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, you've come up with some crazy ideas too.
Well, we have a whole team that comes up with a lot of great
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah. But that's really cool.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about your creative process. What kind of gets you into the flow where those ideas are coming and where you're just firing on all cylinders?
So a couple of years ago, we actually started the marketing audit process.
Okay.
So when we very first start with a new client, I'm pretty insistent on making sure that we do a marketing audit to begin with.
Okay, yeah.
And going through that process helps because then we can do a discovery period with them. We can understand what they've been doing, what's working, what's not working, why, and what to stop, start, and keep doing, and then prioritize. And we go through that. And then we also do an empathy map. So we want to empathize with their target audience.
Okay.
So what are they feeling? What are they hearing? What are they saying? Where are they getting their information from? If we were in their shoes, where would we go to get information from influencers, from, if we're on Facebook, or where are we doing this? And that way we can step into our clients' audience and look at what they need, not necessarily what our clients think that they need,
right,
but truly
but what they need.
And so we've done some focus groups and interviews of the actual people who actually use their product or service.
Yeah.
And I love that because then we can do a couple things. We can listen to what they're saying and how they're explaining it, because they're the ones who are using it. They're our ideal client, so they're our ideal customer. So we get messaging from them.
Yeah.
And then we take that and implement that in the campaign moving forward.
Awesome.
So the audit process is really good. And then moving into the marketing needs assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and then the plan and the strategy, and then implementation.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
So make sure you've got a solid foundation.
Totally.
That you
Yes.
actually know who you're talking to and what they actually need to hear before you go off and decide what you're going to say, right? Yeah, so important because we run into that with clients all the time where they just don't necessarily have all their stuff together, right? When they approach us, and that sounds like that's what a lot of your marketing audit is about.
Yeah, and sometimes they
or the empathy mapping.
The
that you're
empathy
talking
mapping, we do a sticky note throwdown.
Okay.
So we all stand up and we have one sticky note for each thing that they do, that they can come up with every tactic that they can imagine within a certain time frame. So it's free flowing.
Yeah.
Write the stickies. And then we put columns, what to stop, start, and keep. And then we put the stickies where they need to go.
Okay.
And then we prioritize them and move them around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, that's a fun exercise.
It's a great way to get people thinking in a very quick but yet effective way.
I love that. That's great. So let me ask a little bit, because you are now speaking, running all over the country, it sounds like, and stuff, developing a lot of your, like you said, just public speaking prowess. Yeah. But a lot of that comes with connecting with people. And obviously you've been a connector for some time in serving in the different capacities that you have. what are some of your main tips for networking and helping other people and finding those like-minded people?
Well, I absolutely love to give connections. Give first, and then maybe you'll receive an abundance, right? So
Okay.
the idea of being that go-giver.
It's very scriptural.
Right? It's very good.
Yeah.
And I really do love to connect people.
Mm-hmm.
And it nothing brings me more joy when two people can come together and do business or, have value to each other because of the connections that I've made, right?
Yeah.
And by doing that and making those connections and being a resource for people, then they tend to kind of come back to you because they know that they can rely on you to make those connections happen.
Yeah.
And I would say if you are in that situation and you're networking and you can just make connections for other people, then in a way it sort of has a residual effect back to you.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that I say too, there's T's and B's and C's. Okay. So no tits, tats, and tummies, right? You want to dress to impress. You want to, sometimes tattoos are okay. And I have people with tattoos. I mean, my husband does. But sometimes you need to dress to impress because you never know when you're going to walk into a room and you just the same reason why you take your hat off at the dinner table, right?
Yeah, just eliminate distractions,
sense, right?
kind of stuff, right?
And and then the 3 B's, no butts, busts, or bellies, similar. But same thing. You want to, be impressionable first and make your image and your brand, your personal brand, and your who you are and who you want to portray yourself to be. Think about that, and then you can introduce the things that maybe if you have earrings and tattoos and all those types of things. So
okay, and then you have the 3 C's.
Okay, so after you meet somebody, it's critically important that you either do coffee, a conference call, or maybe go to Cabo. No, coffee, conference call, or cocktails if you're into that.
Yeah.
So I always say the most important thing is you can meet people, you can talk to them, but if you don't follow up with them after that experience that you've given them, then you're likely to lose that moment, right? They're not going to remember you as much, or they're not going to remember that they had an interest in what you do or what you sell or whatever it is that you're doing. So follow up. So coffee, cocktails, or conference call, or
spend some meaningful time with them, right?
Exactly.
another chance to connect, go deeper,
Yes,
not have everything
absolutely.
be surface level. I love it. Those are great suggestions.
Yeah.
So for our audience, where should they look you up if they want to find you?
They can certainly find me peppershock.com on all of the, Instagram. I'm also, so there's Peppershock on Instagram, but I'm also the Marketing Boss Babe on Instagram. And I think there's a Facebook page.
That's one of your brands, Marketing Boss Babe.
Yeah, the Marketing Boss Babe.
That's great.
My husband did that. And so it kind of stuck and people do it. And then the Marketing Expedition members group, you can ask to join the group. And we're really, and I'd love for you to come in and chime in. We talk all things marketing and any kind of inspiration, information, and ideas that pop up or questions people have, and we share podcasts. So I'll be happy to share this there, and we do all kinds of good things for people to learn and explore. And I do a culture and brand camp every year, and we'll post a lot of things from the culture and brand camp too.
Very cool. Very cool. Love it. So anything cool coming down the pipeline that you want to talk about? Like anything that's super exciting that you have big plans for?
Well, I just mentioned Culture and Brand Camp. We do that, and I've actually been invited to go out of my own city elsewhere to do it and put it on there too. And it's always fun because I have speakers come in, either HR, marketing. One of our speakers, Ron Price, he is an author and he wrote Growing Influence, but he's coming. Super excited to have him. And then we also have a former HR. They don't have titles at Google, but she pretty much was the equivalency of like the HR director of the Google Cloud.
Yeah.
And now she's gone off on her own and does DeLuca and Will. Anyway, she's going to come and tell us all about the top 10 things that she learned while working at Google.
Very cool.
So that's kind of fun.
That's super exciting.
And we'll put that, we're actually having a culture and brand camp. People will bring their camp chairs. We will have s'mores and everything.
Yeah.
But talking about how culture is your brand and how building your culture helps, the experience that customers have when they are around your brand. So that's happening, but we'll put a lot of the tidbits and things on the Marketing Expedition page on peppershock.com, and we'll put it out there. We also have a podcast too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, very cool. What's the name of the podcast in case they want to find
Marketing Expedition Show.
Okay,
Yeah,
Marketing Expedition Show.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm From Poop to Gold. You can also check out our book at harmonbrothersbook.com. and read more about it there. Again, remember to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.
As entrepreneurs and small businesses, we all kind of reach that point where we know we've created something awesome and we want to share it with the world, right? And it's that very next step that can oftentimes be really intimidating or really scary, or you just don't know where to go next, right? And the beautiful thing about this 14-day script challenge is you get your hand held from, okay, you have this cool product, now let's go research and find the exact way to present it and message it to the world in a way that resonates and gets people excited and they're ready to swipe their credit card and purchase. And in the 14-day script challenge, you get the opportunity to go through that step by step with our writers who have done it dozens and dozens of times.
You actually watch us go through each of the steps ourselves and create it with a real client, a real product, and it's a real campaign that's out there that's been very successful.
That's right. And the feedback that we've had on this thing has just been phenomenal. I mean, we get comment after comment and emails flowing in from people all over the world who have just raved about the impact that this has had on their business.
People tell us over and over again, it is just a huge value punch for the investment for this 14-day script challenge, and really gave them the tool set they needed to walk through it and make it happen.
And we've had dozens of students who have successfully taken the challenge, written their script, launched their ad campaigns, and driven success for their business. It's pretty amazing.
For more information, go to hbros.co/script. That's hbros.co/script.